How did a judge have it 4-1 for Jones then?
I have no idea. And I was going strictly based off of the criteria of who landed the cleaner and harder shots. And when Jon was pushing the pace, I took that out of the equation because he wasn't throwing.
Well, now hold on, because Jon Jones said that he won the fight because he got takedowns. What about those?
No, absolutely not.
Come on, why not?
We've talked about this.
I know we have.
Done.
I want to hear it.
There was nothing done. The takedown and the immediate stand up. There was no damage done.
So what was it?
You're telling me, right? Because you're telling me the very first thing. And this is where I'll get into Joe Rogan a little bit, and I'll get into some of the other guys that are criticizing the judges. They have a right, I think, to criticize them a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. We don't need a new criteria. The criteria is working if the judges are following the criteria.
Bingo.
The criteria is right. I should let you do this. Why the fuck am I talking about this right now?
I want to hear the criteria.
The number one criteria is damage. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're looking at striking and grappling, and what is that person doing towards damaging their opponent? We're looking at big strikes. If it's knockdowns, that's number one. If it's damaging strikes, then we get into volume. And that's when all those little punch stats start to come in, but that's usually not going to just be what you see. Then if it's grappling, obviously it's the grappling, the takedowns, but what does he do with the takedown? Does he land strikes off of it? Does he go for submissions? If you get a takedown like Jon had against Reyes, he takes him to the ground, boom, his butt hits the ground, and you see Reyes post right up and gets right back up. What did we have? What did that takedown do for Jon to make him win the round? Did it hurt Dominic in any way? Did not hurt him in any way. Okay, did it put Dominic in danger of losing the fight as far as he was close to, being knocked out by that takedown or submission by him?
Yeah.
Right? No. So we have a change of position. No different than when you have two guys come up and they go into the cage and they have a clinch in the cage and then they break off. That's a change of position. Just one is vertical while the other is horizontal going to the ground. But as soon as Reyes comes right back up, Jon doesn't land any strikes off of it. In fact, Reyes, at one of them, he frames out and throws an elbow and lands a good elbow off of it. And you're going, hey, Jon, you got crap for that. That goes to Reyes. Because we don't count defense. We don't give points for defense, but we don't give points for actions that do nothing in the fight. If a fighter moves to his right and off-centers his opponent, and I'm standing here and he takes a punch and goes, and it just misses me, he did great movement, just like he did the takedown. He changed positions. He goes and he attempts, and it goes right by and misses me. What does he get on the judge's scorecard for it? 0. He didn't damage him. He did not affect him in a negative way that is going to lead towards him being less effective in the fight. That's what the judges are looking for. And in this whole goddamn thing about, he was pressing forward, that doesn't mean shit if you as the judge can see the difference in the fight through the person who has the better striking. And since this fight was mostly striking, okay, we're going off of striking. So it doesn't matter who's going forward. It doesn't matter that Dominic is backing or laterally moving off at times. That has no bearing in the judge's scoring of the fight. The only thing that is being scored is who has the better strikes, who's damaging who, and who has got more volume. That's what you're looking at. Jon actually went down. And it wasn't. He was kicking and he got hit to the body and he popped himself right back up. But there was moments, that are happening in that fight, and you're going, "You're losing, dude. You're losing," and it has no bearing. What that pressure by Jones coming forward, it can work for him, just like Nate Diaz can have pressure and it can work for him. But he's got to land punches, and they've got to be clean punches. They can't be punches or kicks that you see the guy blocking. That doesn't matter. It matters, is it a clean shot that gets through and does damage? A couple of the uppercuts that you saw, Dominic Reyes landing, beautiful uppercuts on the inside. That's what the judges are supposed to be looking at. That's the deciding factor in how you score a fight.
This is almost the exact same fight that Jose Aldo and Marlon Moraes had. But you were criticized. This is where I talked to you about this.
Yeah.
You said Aldo should have lost the fight. It was close, but he should have lost because even though he was pressing forward, even though he was pushing the action, he wasn't pulling the trigger. So when he stopped pulling the trigger, then Moraes was landing, even though they weren't like super clean and they weren't anything that rocked Jose or whatever it was, but he was still landing when Jose was just putting pressure but not doing anything. And that's how I evaluated this fight. If you go back through, and if I go back through and watch this fight, I have Reyes winning 4 through the first 4, and then I have him losing the 5th for sure. Yeah.
You know, the big thing is, and I'm always on Joe. You know, hey, you've got to know the criteria and stuff. The one thing I'm going to say right now, Joe Rogan was absolutely right in the fact that the judging at that show, overall, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, you look at the Lauren Murphy versus Andrea Lee fight, bad. You know, someone went 30-27 on that, and you look and you go, what are you looking at? Come on, man. You can't do that. Now, the one thing I will say, and this is, it's the truth. I'm not trying to buy something for someone or, give. When you're the judge and you're sitting there, and I've been the judge too many times, you only get one angle, and it depends on where those fighters are at. So there are things, when you're looking at a close round, and then you see one judge is off in one round and the other judge is off in another. A lot of that is because of where they were sitting, what they're seeing. That can be the element instead of them not understanding the criteria. But I will say, overall in that fight, they should have seen enough to know that Dominic Reyes, he did what he was supposed to do. He landed the better shots in the first couple of rounds. That third round was a good round. It's close. The second and third are very close. Even the fourth is close. Like I said, the first and the fifth are the two easy ones. But there's no way that you can look and say that was a 4-1 for Jon Jones. Just can't do it. It's not there. It's the first time I've ever seen a fight where at the end of it I said that guy just beat Jon Jones.